Hello everyone, welcome back to Prince and Nikki's channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're continuing with Lashibi project. If you watched the previous videos, then you'll know this is 2 4-bedroom semi-detached properties. Our previous video was on the foundation casting. If you want to check that out, please do so. It's in our playlist and on our channel. And we also today are going to bring you a video on the substructure, block work and the DPC, which you can see on the screen now. We're going to take you through how to lay that correctly to prevent rising damp. So once you've had your foundation cast, the first thing you need to do is give yourself a big pat on the back because it's such a big achievement. We talked in the previous video about the amount of money that goes into the ground and the importance of that. So after that, I want you to then think about how to make sure that you continue with the DPC. As you can see on the screen here on the right, this is the guys laying the DPC, and that goes between the foundation slab and the first block work that you lay. There is a process to this. The material is of really good quality, and we have sourced this in Accra, and we're able to ensure that our clients have the opportunity to purchase this at really competitive price.
Yeah, because if you are building and your builder is not using a DPC, you need to be asking why, because this is prevent damp. We see so many issues with rising dams, all because the correct process was not followed. So I know in a previous video, someone asked us, why do you need DPC in addition to DPM? As we explained that in another video, that you need this in order to prevent the rising damp up the walls or onto your block work. There is no way you're gonna prevent that apart from using DPC. And the Ghana building code is very explicit on this, that you must use a DPC when you are building. So if you are building, I'll say you must ensure your builder is using this before they start laying the blocks to prevent rising damp. Is very, very important. This particular product is to UK specification and it's available in Accra for Pura Ventures. We provide the contact details previously. We'll also include that in the description. If you are building, please ensure your builder uses this.
What I would say is, even if you have a contractor building for you, it is your money and it's your project. So I would encourage anyone to make sure that they familiarise themselves with the Ghana building code and the basics of the building, because at the end of the day you need to be able to check and ask questions accordingly for your own site. So definitely have a look at that. No one knows all the information. We don't all work in construction, so have a look and ask questions. That's what's great about the YouTube community. There's so many people out there that's building. Some people are at the finishing stages that we've watched for a few years now, and people are starting out now. So utilise the videos that's out there and ask questions in the comments. So the process for laying DPC is that once you've had your ground floor cast, before you do your first course of block work, you need to ensure the surface is well cleaned, and then you lay down mortar before measuring and cutting a strip of the DPC. Once you've got that measured, you then put that on top of the mortar, laying another mortar on top of that before you put down the block work on top. And you continue that for all your external and internal walls, making sure that there's no block work completely touching the slab.
Yeah, I think you just need to insist that your builder uses this. We had a situation whereby a friend is building and he bought this for the guys to use, and the guy said, no, we're not going to use it. The block work will not touch the floor, it will fall. And he was insisting, no, he's not going to use it. And lucky for him, one of the masons on site just said to my friend, said, oh, we actually learned this in technical school, but we've never seen it before. And so yeah, it will work. So I think there is some education there that our local tradesmen need to be brought up to date of the importance of the DPC and how it's laid. So there might be some resistance. So some will tell you there's no water here, so you don't need it. It's not marshy area, you don't need it. But please, for what is worth, we will recommend that everyone building today needs to make sure you use the correct DPC and the DPM as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the money that you're pouring into your property, it's not something that you can joke with, is it? So
No.
I wouldn't want anyone to spend any money and then have to rectify. So please just think about doing that as part of your process. If you're at the foundation stages or the planning stages, think about doing that now. So as you can see, Mike here with the paperwork and the blue shirt is walking around making sure that all the guys on site are laying the DPC correctly, and making sure that everything's according to the architectural drawings. He's got a good attention to detail, and we're really pleased that he's come on board the team with us.
Yeah, this is the most crucial stage whereby you begin to set out your block work. So here you see Mike is going around rechecking measurements with the guys. We will say Mike's always brings the drawings out. We don't want you to be working from phones, and he always brings all his drawings out, because as in instances whereby people go and they say, I've got it on my phone, and they can't see the dimensions correctly. So what I like about Mike is he always has the drawing printed and go around the guys, make sure everyone got the right dimensions, and check, because you need to make sure you are building exactly what is drawn. That is good, because you're not turn around, knocking walls down and making a lot of changes which are all expensive.
So you see the guys, they continue, you see that they're using really good quality tools, they're making sure that everything's level, and just generally they start to form. They take their time with the first course, making sure that all the internal walls are in the correct place, and just making sure that everything's in order really. What I will say is that we mentioned on the previous video, some of you might have a question about the floor slab level, but we have mentioned in the previous video that this slab is actually 2 foot above from the ground. It's just that the way they did the filling, they've thrown all the soil around the edge, haven't they? So we did question that, but it is actually correct.
Eric, your motor they make it too much. Make it be 1 inch per.
There goes Mike. Master Mike telling people off in terms of making sure the quality is there, but you know what, it's really good. I'm pleased that he does his quality control.
Yeah, his quality control is very important. That's how you ensure the standard of work are consistent all through your build. You just don't let people just go to site and do whatever they want to do and say this is how we do it. There is a requirement, the way we estimate the number of cement to be used. So you need to make sure your mortar is the same level. So he was just telling the guy, no, it's too thick. It needs to be one inch.
Yeah, I think it's all accounted for in terms of the estimations that we do for each stage of the building process for people. When we have provided estimates for clients that have asked for that, for us to do their builds, obviously the materials and everything is costed. And it can be a challenge at times. There's times where it appears it is expensive, but you just got to be mindful that, you know, we're not the lower end of the spectrum in terms of quality and cost, isn't it? But we do strive to be good quality and consistent workforce that we have. We did watch a video yesterday from our brother Bright and Clara's channel, and he was talking about their own experience in terms of the foundation. I think he'd done an estimate or something? And
no, so someone was talking about foundation. Someone did a foundation for $2,000. Why is yours too expensive?
Too expensive.
And I don't know.
$2,000.
For a 4
I
bedroom
think he
house.
was doing a chicken shed at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah, but it is. People can tell you all sorts, isn't it? It's what quality are they giving you? If it's true that someone can do a
But
foundation,
that's you
for
can't
that.
possibly do the amount of cement you use.
And the block
Times
work.
that, you know, even if your cement was 20 cedis per bag, it's not possible. But yeah, Bright and Clara hit the nail on the head yesterday when they were saying, like, if you want to pay cheap, go ahead, but you can't compromise on quality, and that's the thing. Like, an estimate is an estimate for a reason. What we don't want to do is compromise. You'll get good quality workmanship from people that strive to do that, as we do, as Bright and Clara do. We will not compromise on that. You get what you pay for at the end of the day.
Yeah, we talk about this wall. The wall you can see on the screen now is the party wall between the two properties. This is in order to control noise from the neighboring house. So it's very important if you're building a semi-detached to have a party wall between those. So it's two separate walls. Originally, we were suggesting that we put some acoustic insulation between the walls, but the architect said that is not necessary, considering that we're using the 6-inch blocks to form those party walls with a bit of 4-inch gap between them. So they were quite happy with the way it is going.
And it's down to clients as well. Obviously, we're used to using insulation here in England, but it is down to client choice. We'll tell them what we're aware of, but it's down to client choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, we also talk about that what you can see on the screen now in the earlier video, whereby there's a dedicated risers that are formed to run all the pipes from upstairs to the ground. So it's a quite very efficient design.
So as you can see, they're continuing with the block work now. They do roughly around 100 blocks per person per day. This is one of the bone of contentions in the construction in Ghana, isn't it? Contract or per day wages?
By day. We say by day. We say by day.
Yeah, we know there's people's choices around paying people per day or for the contract. In terms of us at PND, we tend to contract people per the job. So if it's 4,000 blocks, you pay the guys for the blocks. So come rain or shine, the blocks will be done, however long it takes. That is cost saving for you, the client, as well.
Yeah, I think it's the downside of by day is that when you go to site and you raise, you still got to pay them for turning up and not able to work. So, but if you are paying on contract basis, it's the same number of blocks they got to lay. If it rains, it's not your problem as a client. It's their risk. They take all the risks on board by doing it as a contract instead of you doing by day. I know people prefer by day to count the number of masons are there, number of laborers are there to pay by day. But in our experience, it will cost you more because it takes longer.
Yeah, because
a little rain will stop work.
yeah, and the thing is, it's just getting a balance. It is down to personal choice. Some people would prefer to pay by day, but we would prefer to do it on a contract because all of our staff that we employ, we do pay them a fair wage. We make sure that they are well looked after. And I think when you're loyal and you give them that, they'll be a stable staff force for you, and they will make sure that the workmanship's quality. And we've seen that over time since we started last April on our own build. We've had the guys with us since April 2022. So, you know, it does show that it does work for them.
Yeah, talking about welfare, there are instances whereby someone will be taken ill and might have to take them to hospital and stay with them the whole day. So in terms of welfare, the people are really, really look after. It's not just because you come into work and say, in Ghana, everyone is self-employed. You come into work, you'll be paid by the end of the day, so no one cares about you. The welfare is important. I speak to some of these guys that I know regularly or ask of them. So welfare is very important, and make sure people have a fair wage for the day's work they do.
Yeah, I think yes, we're coming with our dollars, but we shouldn't also just want to work them to the ground. Just one of the things that frustrates me is that because I don't know whether it's the temperature or the time starting, but people like to start work early there, and they tend to work a lot longer days, don't they?
Oh yeah.
From 7 till 7 at night. So if you think they're working a 12-hour day, so it's a long day, and it's only fair that they should get paid substantially a good level compared to your 9 to 5 jobs here. So we do make sure of that. As you can see here, the block work has continued going up. It's making good progress. You get to start to see the shape of your building, and this is what we like about it. You can see the plans come to life. You can see the windows start to be forming, and yeah, it's a nice stage for any client or anyone that's seeing their own building going up, because you start to see, and actually this is really important about making the changes to your building as you go along. When you get to this stage, it's around this time that the steel bender will come on site again, and he will start extending your iron rods from the ground floor slab continuing up to the first floor. So you will see shortly on the video that the guy will be on site and he will be extending the iron rods.
The steel bender Gosway has been with us since we started our own build. He's very good. He very experienced, and he's good.
Here he is now coming up. That's God's Way, our steel bender.
Yeah, as you know, Gosway, for instance, the work we do with him, all our contract works. We price the work as a contract, bring his mains, and do the work.
Yes, he did a great job on our own project when we did the decking. That was a massive undertaking. If you've seen our own project,
Let me talk about the columns foundation work.
as you see on our own project, for those of you who've been around for a long time, you'll know the headache in terms of the cost of the iron rods and
the 25
yeah, 25 because we was building a car park. But yes, it's a great video to watch if you're wanting an open plan living. Like some of the open plan buildings that are coming up now, you need to think about, if you want a full span without any columns in the room, it's how to achieve that. So it's worth it to get the visual in the room, and we're really pleased with how it turned out on our own project. But hit us a comment below, or we have the contact details on the screen if you've got any questions about how to achieve anything on your building in terms of design and getting what you want. Do drop us an email or give us a call, and we will try to help you in terms of helping you to achieve your own personal dream. So once you're at this stage and the steel benders extended the iron rods, you will have the carpenter come back on site around this time once the walls are formed, and he will do all the form work ready for the casting of the columns.
Yeah, as we said, so this is two semi-detached. So what you're saying now is one of the building, the 4-bedroom section. There's so the way they're working is they concentrating on one side. The other side is where the steel bender is now doing the continuation pillars, and then that will be casted whilst they are working on these sections. So effectively, it's still building in one. So they try to work in a section, make sure all of those walls are to the levels required in order to do the columns and the lintel. Then they tackle the next one.
And it also helps with the cost for the workers as well, coming backwards and forwards for multiple days. It's just all part of the planning, and we have a full programme and a schedule of works when we do any project, so that we know who's coming on site when, and we just make sure that it's really timed down to perfection to make sure that we utilise the best we can of the workforce and help to keep the cost down for anyone. So I think that's about it for the video. As you can see, they've made good progress with the walls. We are at the end stage of the block work now. We have a new video coming up next, which will give you a walkthrough of the
Ground
block
floor.
work, yes, and the ground floor for the 2 properties. So we will post that shortly, and we'll put some quantities in there as well for you, just to give you an idea. It's been great having you join us. We do appreciate you spending your time and watching the video. Do give us a comment below and ask us any questions. Let us know that you're there, new subscribers and our old original people that joined us from the beginning of our own journey. I do want to reassure you all we are continuing with our own project. We are just looking at some plans for our roofing and getting ready to start the roof for our own project in September. At the time of watching this video, we will be posting this during our summer break, so it will be pre-recorded and uploaded for you to watch. But yes, thank you for watching and enjoying. We do appreciate everyone. If you're not a subscriber, please do hit the subscribe button and support the channel. We look forward to seeing you soon. Take care and thank you.
Bye.